Welcome to a little piece of my life where I talk about daily life, money mindset, budgeting, self improvement, and my love for working out on a mini trampoline. My name is Elan, and I was born and raised in the Bahamas, a mom of one and a free spirited creative 24/7. Welcome to my channel. Hi guys, welcome back to a little piece of my life. So this is one of these videos where I'm really excited to talk about it, and I've really been kind of easing into my what I call like my truest self in regards to the information that I talk about and so forth. The biggest one has been mindset when it comes to money. I feel like money can sometimes be a topic that either we are overly talking about, not talking about enough, or just kind of staying in the middle. And I want to talk about the depths of that in a way that's healthy and beneficial for all of us. So the first thing I want to start off by saying is that I'm not necessarily here to give you tips per se. I'm more so going to share what has worked for me, what I had to kind of change in order to start really, the best way I could put it is for me to really start seeing the financial growth that I want to start seeing, right? So I've started to scratch the surface pretty good, and now I'm building up. But now my goal is to go beyond what even I expected for myself. And I hope that the information that I'm sharing today will do the same for you. So the first thing I want to say is just to give a little bit of background about myself in regards to why I'm able or how I'm able to talk about money mindset. So I was born and raised in Nassau, Bahamas, came to undergrad and grad school once I graduated. After graduation from Howard, in my grad program, that was kind of rough because if any of you guys are familiar with the whole immigration stuff, you get a year to work on OPT unless you're like someone who's doing STEM. I think you get like 3 or 4 years. So after my year was up, things got real, right? Like I didn't have a license because for you to have a license to drive, you needed like a work permit and so forth. So during that time, I felt like I started to really say, okay, like I'm at the very bottom, right? And anybody who has been to the very bottom or is currently at the bottom, it is not a good feeling. It's very scary. So from that point on, I started to get deeply invested in self-help books, seminars, paying for year-long coaching programs, listening to podcasts every single day as I drove my car that I wasn't supposed to be. But I learned to gather as much information and then implement it, right? Which then led me to be able to purchase my first home, start my speech therapy business, hire employees, pay off my car, all of these beautiful things that for me provide a level of stability, right? So it's been about, at this point now, maybe eight years of me gathering different material in a way that I can really talk pretty confidently about, right? So the first thing I want to kind of jump into is, what is a money mindset, right? A money mindset is a collection essentially of our belief systems, our experiences, what we are taught about money, right? How we friend money, right? Because really and truly, we have to look at money as a relationship, right? In the sense that, like, how is our relationship? Are we codependent on each other? You know what I mean? Can I trust you? Are you a ride or die for me? That's the depth of like our money mindset and our relationship with money. Now let's take it back a little bit. And I feel like sometimes this can be a part that can be very emotional. At least for me, it was a little bit. And you have to go back on what was your upbringing and what was your experience with money growing up, right? So for example, some people may have grown up or been raised in an environment where money was very limited. Or, you was told, well, money don't grow on trees, right? Or stuff like that. And that became ingrained in you. So I'll go ahead and share kind of my experience with money. So I grew up in a single parent household where personally I would say I felt like my mom was one of the best I had ever seen when it came to her money. And really when I say her money, how she managed it, right? So I'll just give a backstory with that. So I am the youngest of two. I have an older brother and then my sister, right? And we grew up in a household where we went to private school, we went on trips every summer, we had a nice home, always had a great home cooked meal, all of that. As I got older, I was like, well, shoot, how did my mommy do that? Because here it is, you have 3 kids, right? We all in private school. And at that time, I know she was making like $500 a week. But what my mom used to do, and this was so smart, is that she essentially had her money work for her, which I think in the money world is called level 3, where your money works for you. So my mom would essentially put aside money every single week from her paycheck, no matter what, religiously. And then she ended up, we had a house, still have a house, and she built 2 apartments onto that house, right? So then those became rental units where every month it was bringing in money. So essentially, at a certain point, my mom wasn't working, but she still had money coming in from those units. I would say pretty consistently, right? So from a very young age, I kind of started to see that, okay, savings equals security. Okay, money can bring you in more money. So then me being a little entrepreneur that I've always been, right? I would, and my high school friends can vouch for this, I would sell Welch's fruit snacks. I would sell lollipops and these little like cakes. I would sell them at my school. So I'd buy them for like $6, right? The Welch's for like $6. And I would flip that box of 12 and keep selling it. So on one box of Welch's fruit snacks, I would make an additional $6. And I would keep flipping it, keep flipping it, keep flipping it, right? So those were kind of my experience with money. I've also had, not so good great experiences with money. For example, when it came to me, like when I was dating, when I was younger, I felt like a lot of the boys that I dated was very limited financially. And so I felt like I became kind of like a piggy bank for them. So over the years, I've really had to uncensor, de-block my belief or my relationship when it came to money and relationships, whether it's romantic relationships or friendships. Sometimes we have to dig deep into our belief system when it comes to money and our experiences. And sometimes as we dig deep into our connection with money from the past, like I say, it can be very, very painful. And it's not something that, happens quickly where it's like, okay, well, I discovered this. No, it may take a very long time to really uproot that belief system. Because the truth of the matter, in my opinion, in order for us to fully have a healthy money mindset, we really have to go deep into that subconscious mind and those beliefs, and we have to sit in that, we have to face it, and then correct it. Hopefully that makes sense. Another point that I want to add is that we have to also shift, and this is what I had to do. Bob Proctor talks beautifully about this. He talks about a paradigm shift. And we have to realize, for example, okay, when we look at money, right? At first I said, okay, well, I need to save money. I can't spend too much. Just have a little, can't give away too much, whatever. Once I started to shift my mindset that money is a tool, like really think about that. Money is a tool to be used, right? That means that if I can't just always hold on to money. I gotta let it go. I gotta let it come to me. And people think that letting it go, letting it come to you, one or the other is easier. But sometimes it really isn't. And I'll give an example. Like, okay, before it used to be hard for me to let go money and also hard for me to receive it. So when I started making a good bit of money in my private practice, I was like, oh, no. I'm making too much money. So what did I do? When I started making too much of money and I'm used to being here, no, I'm not kidding you guys. I started to give away money, like to my mom or whatever, to bring me back down, which is like cybernetics, to bring me back down to that comfort zone, to what I always knew. This base is what I know when it comes to money. But now my view is, oh baby, open up the door, the window, the car door, let that money come to you, girl, right? Because also the truth of the matter is, I also give away a lot of money. And not because I want people to know that I'm this No, like I give away a lot of money, a lot of time, because I love to do that. That's just a part of me. Like, for example, if I go for dinner, I love being able to treat my friends for dinner, or like my family. I don't know. That's just a beautiful thing for me that I love to do. But we have to understand that money is a tool, right? Money is vibration, money is energy, and money is to be used. We cannot allow money to control us in a way that is intimidating and in a way that is scary. One of the things that I would always recommend is read books, right? Read some books. When you're driving, listen to podcasts. Some of the ones that I would recommend, for example, books is that one, You Are a Badass at Making Money. I think it's by Jen Shapiro. I will put an image of the book. That was one of the first books that I read on money. Also, The Richest Man in Babylon. To me, that was a really good concept book. And of course, there's a bunch of different books out there as well. When it comes to podcasts, I love The Mindset Mentor. He is really, really good. And I also have been recently, this one has been deep. It's called Expanded. Somebody recommended it to me and it's been beautiful, right? Because essentially, we have to allow ourselves to bring in new information, right? Now, we face this old paradigm, this old belief, this old upbringing, but now we have to make room and make space for new thinking. And how do you do that? You do that by learning. Like personally for me, like I said, I've learned certain mindset beliefs, money mindset from my mom, but also my brother and also my sister. You know, whether it's positive or negative, those have been learning. But now, me being at the point that I'm at now, I want to learn a lot more positive money mindset. So that's why someone like me, and I'm gonna be honest, I easily will spend thousands of dollars going to seminars, because I'll tell you, but like the coaching program I did before, that was thousands of dollars. But I'm not kidding you. From that coaching program, I was able to make beyond triple what that cost, right? Because the tools from that allowed me to learn and grow. So I would definitely say, like, if you can find materials, information, if I can be a resource for you, if somebody sent me a message, I will answer you. I'll give you the tools or whatever it may be that I have used. But definitely educating ourselves, learning has been very, very essential. In my opinion, it is very important to live below your means, right? So let's go back to this a little bit. You see sometimes in the media where basketball players and so forth would have had millions, billions of dollars, and now some of them have nothing to show for it. Because the truth of the matter is, you can make $1 million and you can quickly spend $1 million. People always think it's this thing of like how much money you make. That is important. But also how you manage your money, how you prioritize your money. Am I going to be, if my friend invites me out for dinner to a fancy restaurant, I may say no. And I'm going to say politely, that's not really in alignment with what I'm doing right now. And that's okay. Sometimes when you are on a path of financial freedom or financial independence or financial responsibility, you may not always be able to do what you used to do. But that's how the universe through God works, is that you have to give and take. Nothing is going to be handed to you, really. So understanding that concept is going to be extremely beneficial for you, right? So for example, let's just say you want to get a house, and the house costs monthly $1,000, right? But you bring in about $800 a month. That's not going to be the right house for you then, or that's not going to be the best monthly payment for you, because you also got to factor in your water, your this, your that. So that means every month you're fighting to maintain that lifestyle, versus saying, okay, let me get something that's going to cost me $400 a month, plus let's just say $200 additional for expenses. That way you can also, pay yourself a little bit, invest and save, right? That's a little bit more of a better feel. So another thing too is that do what you need to do until you can do what you want to do. And that may not always come as quickly. So I'll give an example again. And I hope you guys are okay with me sharing these different stories or parts of my life. But I think they really align with this topic. So I am in the market right now buying my dream car, right? Which it ranged between a Jeep Wrangler and a Bronco. And right now, baby, that Bronco, she winning. Because I'm just like, oh, when I drove the car, it was just amazing. Anywho, I went to the dealership yesterday to essentially buy my dream car. And it just, it did not. Hi, baby. How are you? See how you can take them outside. Anyway, let's start this again. So I went to go get my dream car, and essentially it just wasn't fitting, right? Like they were trying to give me a very not high APR, but he definitely could have gone lower. So as we were walking out, he was like, okay, I'll give it to you. And it didn't feel right for me. And I'm like, okay, you know what? This is my money. This is my moment. And even with that, like buying, making a big purchase, in my opinion, it's a special moment for you. So sometimes for me, in that very moment, I said to myself, okay, well, it's okay. Take your time. Whenever the car is meant to come into your life, it will. I think that sometimes we be in such a rush to get the things we want to get. We want to, live in the house we want to live in, the car we want to have, the this, the that, the places you want to travel. But also remember too, even when you're looking at people who have what you may want, there was a lot to get to where that person was. You just seen the end result, but you didn't see the struggle. And that's why I tell people all the time, like, don't look at someone and say, oh man, I want what they have, because you didn't see the background work and the things that happened to get there. Another thing that I would say too, and I've talked about this in one of my previous videos, is to budget. Make sure that you have a budget for yourself. I'm going to be in the next few months, I'm going to be making some free materials and stuff for you guys, like budgeting, whatever it may be, and showing just even more of kind of things that I've done that have really been beneficial with helping me to grow pretty. It didn't happen quickly, but it did happen. I definitely recommending budgeting, and also take this from me. Check your bank account at least 4 times a week, right? Especially if you have a bank account, because you want to make sure that you have money in the bank. Be mindful of getting a lot of overdraft fees, right? That takes away a lot of your money, right? But if we're staying vigilant in regards to checking our bank account, that is also very helpful. In my previous video, I mentioned the Budget Mom. That's whose system I had been doing for a very, very long time. But actuality, right now for me, I would still recommend her. Right now for me, though, I'm actually creating my own system that adds in even other things that I think I've learned that has been beneficial and should be in a system that's comprehensive, But yeah, I think overall, having a money mindset really can start with you, right? And you create that, especially your thinking, right? One of the last little tidbits I will add on, and I'm actually gonna probably make this into a part 2, because I think I'm just trying to scratch the surface of this topic, and there's so much more to it. But I will say this, and I was watching a video with Rick Ross, and he was talking about, I read it someplace else, I said, that's so true. Whenever you want something from someone else, right? Like you want advice, or you want a book, or something that it is that you want from this person that they have, and you want to ask them for it, always make sure that you're coming and you're bringing something to that person as well, right? Because you can't just always make it a thing where it's like, oh, I saw you, you recommended this, whatever, or you had this, can I have it? Can you send it to me? Okay, but also, what are you providing to that person in return? And not saying that you have to, but it's just good manners. And this is the last story I'm going to share. So my mom raised me where, if let's just say a friend came to pick me up to take me somewhere because my car was down, I'm going to always offer you some gas money. Oh, I'm staying by your house for a few days. Oh, let me break you off a few $100s for allowing me to stay here. I so much appreciate it. Even if you don't take it, right? Because my thing is, that's your space, that's your time. You didn't have to do that. I just think it's just good practice, right? And that also, to me, comes in line with a money mindset. Or sometimes you may have to work, or sometimes you may find yourself having to volunteer or work for someone for free. But people don't understand that sometimes just the value you get working with that person or that organization, that alone is going to shift your mindset and do all of those beautiful things. So thank you guys so much for watching. I hope some of this information that you're getting is in alignment. If you guys have other recommendations or things that you do that's creative, that aligns with financial welfare and understanding, please share it. I always try to respond and reply, and feel free to connect with me on my Instagram. I post a lot of like rebounding food stuff there, but I think I'm gonna start posting also more about like money mindset, budgeting, things that I really feel align with. But yes, sending you guys an abundance of love, positivity, and all that good stuff. Until next time. Aww. I can't believe I made that video. I was watching this video on Instagram. I think it was with Lisa Ray, and she was talking about how this me, yeah. And I was like, man, that's how I feel for real. I think this is me, yeah. You know, like I'm grateful. I think I'm finally coming into a place where I feel confident. I feel in alignment. I feel driven. Even when the results that I want don't necessarily show that very well. I don't wanna care. It's being I'm good. I'll be okay. Miss you like an old friend. Too scared now, thinking I should call up. I'm not. I think it's hard.